Aloha, make sure we're in tune. Here's our G, D, A, and E. Yes. Cool. So the whole premise of this is, for this week, if you've got a little lax time before daughter gets there and being playing the music, try and put a metronome on, keeping it like, I don't know, 40, 50 beats a minute. Play a G major, and we're going to be doing a 1, 2, 3, 4 progression. So A minor, G major, A minor, B minor, and then a C major. So we're going to be using those 4 chords. What I'd like you to do is trying to do all of your different movements going up and down. If you could hear the rhythm, great. I'll give you a little like backing track doing this for many, many measures so you can go through each one. However, the process between this is playing the G, getting the G note. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. And then when we go to the A minor, you can still play G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. The idea is to constructively start from the second note though. So you have A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A. When you go to the B minor, same thing as the previous. We would have a B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, and then add that B. These are all 7-note full scales, but you don't have to do all this. What the awesome thing is if you do all the time and that it takes on doing the you go through this process of knowing what all those notes are. But when you start getting into like 4-note equations where you do 2 opposite, what I mean is G to B, A to C. And then when you move it up, you do A, D, B, C. So when we have these movements like we're able to go in different patterns, and what happens is those become the cool things we whip out during improvisation. So the way to get there is to do variances of 2 notes, 3 notes, 4 notes, 5 notes, 6 notes, 7 notes. So here's what it looks like. G major, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, G major, G major. I'll walk it up with a G, A, B, C, D, E. G, A, B, C, D, E. G, A, B, C, D, E. Then the A minor. B minor. Ooh. C, D, E, F sharp, G, A. Those were 6-note variances. You can do 4 notes. G. When you go up 4 and you get that sussy kind of note, it's kind of cool to go back down. So you could have. Something along those lines that helps move that melody and move it around. So the challenge this week is to play through G major, A minor, B minor, and then C major, and then figure out something collectively that you could do in between each one of those. The idea is if you're playing with other people, and let's say you're doing a song that has like just the standard progression, G, C, and D. So we have G, so a good one to do for that is like a which has a G major with a then a C. Now we can scoot that up and do. I like to do it here. See how I went up to here? Because they're all G, A minor, B minor, C, C, D, E, F. Those movements in the fingers are going to be the same for all three of those structures chords, no matter where. No matter where we do it, that'll work. So the idea is when you're playing with other people and they're getting around it and we're having a G, no, C, C goes up to D, D. You would feel right there having a. Our job as Mandos is to be going like a boom, boom. Kind of moving around the chords to feel it with a little bit of right hand rhythm and chucking. So if you go slow and then you speed it up later, it becomes a lot more tangible and a lot more effective because the notes you choose are going to be the same ones that you practiced in practicing the practice of practicing. So with that G major, A minor, B minor, and C major, I'm going to play that out on another video for you. Have fun jamming around on that. I won't talk in it, so you can just put it on loop if you need. And the idea and the concept is have something that works out like this. I don't know, just randomly. All those were kind of a little bit over the place, maybe a little simpler as my explanation. So G, so as you saw, I was just doing that top note, did G, G to A, back to G in the key of A minor. I'm taking that A minor, going A to B, back to the A minor. In the B, I'm taking the B and going to the C sharp. Is that right? I guess so. No, C. And then moving up to the C as well and going up the C to the D. And that was the only thing. So the C to D coming back. With these, I think it's very noble to try and get as many cool notes in here as possible. And that's why I think these chord structures are throwing different chords at us. So in that, if we're in the key of G, you could possibly throw a G9 in there if you wanted to, or you could throw a G6. A G6 would have the E, so D, D sharp, E. A G6 would be... Now that sounds like a minor chord, doesn't it? Because it has that E in there. Now representatively, we still have a G, we still have a B, because if we had a B flat, it would be a minor, right? So we have that G, B, and then the D is no longer open, and we've got an E, which kind of changes the tone of it for us, doesn't it? So what's fun is fooling around with a couple of these different chords. Since you know how to make every single chord now, and you might not know that you know how to do it, but you do. So like a G7, flat 9. How about a G minor 7 flat 9? Okay, so in G, we have G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. So G is the 1. Our next note, A, is going to be our 9. And to get a flat 9, we flatten that 9 to an A flat. So if I find my G major, and I know that this is my D, E, F sharp, G, A flat is right here. I don't have another way to get that A note on A flat off of the A note, so I have to play the A flat at the 6th fret on the D string, right? So it's going to look like this. Yeah? So a G minor 7 would have this G needing to go down to its 7th, right? And then this is the minor because we flattened our B down to a B flat. So the G goes to an F, the B goes down to a B flat, and then we've got our A flat here giving us... Now you might not ever find a need to use a G minor 7 flat 9, but being able to build a chord, knowing that it's definitively that chord, really helps when you're trying to figure out kind of movements. And what I've discovered and learned as teaching and as just playing, I learned a lot of my chords as F sharps. I never quite thought of them as G flat minors, you know, or like an F sharp 7 is a G flat 7. They're the same thing. However, my brain doesn't think that way when I'm playing. Like, I think we did it today. We were playing an augmented chord. I think we had this augmented B that augmented A that resolves to a B, and then they all resolve to another chord. I think one of the weirder things is when I think of chords being namesake as triads, I lose focus on what I'm trying to accomplish. What I'm trying to accomplish is pick the best notes at the best time. And what happens is the slower I go and the more I practice, I notice what notes didn't really work in there, and then I realized, oh, that C sharp is not in the scale, so it doesn't fit. And honestly, playing notes wrong over a period of time, you will realize that the notes you're playing right sound better. And because we're realigning your fingers to do movements, keeping with the frets and keeping everything relative, not sliding around, some of these chords should be a lot easier to form in your mind's eye. And thinking like G major, well, G sus, you know, you should be able to see this as being your third now, and then raising it gives you an enlightened type of high note. You could also open it to get a sus as well. But what we're going to do in the subsequent weeks, we're going to take a couple different chords, we're going to dissect them and see where to use those and why we use those. If we're practicing the practice of practice and we're keeping vigilant, doing 5, 10, 15 minutes here a day doing these chords, when we play through such chords as like C major, and we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and we go from our C to a D minor, we can also hear D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. And these notes aren't too terribly hard to start pulling together because they're all part of the scale that we learned in their natural form, the diatonic chords, or the diatonic notes within every scale interval. Okay, I hope today was fun. I had a great time. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. And buzz me or give me a little, questions in the comment section if you have any. Anyway, aloha.